Hey everyone, welcome to the bar. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the fight between Pop Step, Number 6, and Koichi. And if I get a chance to talk about the timeline of Vigilantes, I'm going to do that too. The manga is in a 2-week break right now, so the next chapter that's going to be coming out is coming out on March 13th, Friday the 13th. That's a coincidence, but you just don't ignore coincidence when it delightfully happens during a huge arc. There's going to be spoilers from My Hero Academia Vigilantes and My Hero Academia, manga and anime, and maybe even the movie Heroes Rising. So make sure you're up to date and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. So find yourself a seat and remember to tip the waitstaff. Alright, open up the doors!
Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Okay, so the fight between the Vigilantes and Number 6. First, I gotta say that if this is the climax of the story and after Vigilantes ends, I'm really hoping that this becomes an A+ fight if it's the one that wraps up the series. Vigilantes has given us a wealth of world lore, in a sense that we're learning so much about other characters and the world of My Hero Academia in this one particular story. Think about it this way, in the regular manga, you only get 3 panels of Shirakumo, and in Vigilantes, you get an entire arc from Aizawa's point of view. Vigilantes gave us the opportunity to see how pro-heroes like Ingenium cut their teeth, and it even gave us a speedster race, even if it was just the ending to a chapter. We were able to see our first American superhero in Captain Celebrity. Granted, as an American, yeah, it's a pretty harsh stereotype, and I'll leave it at that. I wish I had abs. Anywho, the fight. So, in the chapter review, I kind of spoke about the fallout of the damage being done during the fight. I also said that it's a possibility that a hero shows up and mistakes Koichi as a villain. This is because unless Number 6 is immediately throwing away his hero persona and just going full-on revenge, which, by the way, full disclosure, I totally see happening, let's be real here, he probably hasn't changed that much, and I'd say he's more patient but has like impulsive moments now. But yeah, he could totally frame Koichi here, and it might take someone like Tsukauchi or Eraserhead to help Koichi clear his name. Before I go any further, I'm trying not to jump too far ahead with my theories, because the odds of me being completely wrong is probably likely. Will I eventually go balls to the walls and eventually try to call my shot and predict something pretty far out? Probably. Just do me a solid. Hate on me extra when it doesn't happen and I fail spectacularly. Everybody in the comments has been pretty insightful when it comes to these types of things, and you've inspired me to sit down and write down my thoughts, and help me understand that sometimes my gut feeling is right. So, back to the fight. One of the first thoughts that I had was the one that I was talking about earlier. The damage inflicted throughout the city due to the fight breaking out. Let's say a hero shows up and 6 simply says something along the lines of, "Yo, this guy's a villain, let's bring him in." Yeah, that would be anticlimactic, but I have several sub-situations from that one major situation. So let's take it from a hero showing up. What if a no-name hero shows up to the fight? 6 kills him and effectively frames Koichi for the death. That would give leeway to my theory about him being locked up in Tartarus for the eventual jailbreak that we all see coming. Personally, I see this one as the most unlikely to happen as time has unfolded. I'd say right now that it's more likely to see Stain and Gentle team up at this point. Another idea that I had, which is kind of unlikely, but if it happens, it would be the tits. Could be, what if Eraserhead is the hero that shows up to the fight? I know that Aizawa said that he would be leaving the city after reminiscing about Shirakumo to pursue becoming a teacher, but to try to find some validity, I'm going to use this opportunity to try to hash out a timeline. But if I misconstrue something and get it completely wrong, you know what to do. And where I'm going to start is the first class that Aizawa had expelled, being as it's the first year before Deku enters high school. We don't know how far into that semester that they were, and I still don't understand the Japanese school system beyond the fact that 10, 11, and 12 are the only 3 grades, and that you essentially start your new year that January. But my guess is the expulsion would have had to have happened a lot earlier, not during the summer. So around this time, it's possible that Aizawa could still be in Naruhara, if the timeline matches. Vigilantes right now is in the month August, 4 years from its first year, and initially it's implied to have taken place 5 to 6 years before the events of My Hero Academia. So essentially, in the beginning of Vigilantes, you have someone like Stain, who is just about to become a full-blown murderer, and then you have someone like Gentle, who's at UA the same time Koichi is being referred to as the Gentleman. Now, utilizing the time skip in Vigilantes within My Hero Academia's timeline, I'm guessing that it's only 1 year until the current year, meaning Aizawa could be waiting to take the current class at UA, and effectively, the American Dream Plan is probably in action. This also means that during the fight, All Might is not in Tokyo. Whew, alright, sorry, I kinda digressed there. But yeah, that's my interpretation of the timeline. Take that as you will though. Back to my situation for Koichi. If destruction causes all eyes to fall upon him, and if the hero that shows up happens to be Aizawa, this would be an interesting outcome. We'd be able to see how his quirk works against Queen Bee. And being that her quirk is a mutation, I don't necessarily think the bees would disappear. Maybe they do what normal bees would do, and that's return to the colony, or they would go into a frenzy. But some of those bees are already bombers, so maybe all she has to do is crash them into somebody. We've seen that Eraserhead tends to have a harder time with people who are mutants, but he's usually able to turn off mutations to a degree. The more mutated you are, the harder it is to turn those particular cells off. Like if Queen Bee turned bees into bombers through her quirk, Aizawa would be able to stop her from doing that. But if they were already bombers, they won't revert, and they'll probably still explode if agitated. Though if a hero doesn't show up on scene, the most likely outcome is Knuckle Duster showing back up. He can make his entrance and come to Koichi's rescue, splitting up the baddies. Whether he'll take on number 6 or Pop Step is kinda hard to guess though. If you do think about it, he's the only one with experience with removing Queen Bee from somebody's body. But with his method, the person in question afflicted by Queen's quirk tends to get horribly maimed, and the whole death thing is a little bit of a drag. But the biggest thing here is he kind of has a score to settle with number 6. So during that final fight, my big guess would be that number 6 finally reveals how he got the Cork Overclock. In the main manga, we saw Ujiko and his litany of stored up quirks, so it could be possible that Knuckle Duster had his quirk stolen from him by All For One. Or from the Heroes Rising movie, we learned that Ujiko was just out here giving people the ability to steal quirks. All For One loves doing this to people. One of the most heinous quotes from him is when he's talking to Gran Torino about why he would ever do something like creating a Nomen, when All For One literally just compares it to making juice. The more you put into it, the better it gets. He looks at quirks the same exact way. Overclock is an amazing quirk, so imagine if someone managed to replicate it and made it even better. But for this one instance, let's say Knuckle Duster does engage number 6 first. We saw that when it comes to fighting against someone using his own quirk, he already has the advantage. So unless 6 has drastically changed his control and beats Knuckle Duster in the fight, I see him being taken down. Hopefully by the same time that happens, Koichi has saved Pop Step. The one part of this fight that sticks in my head like a sore thumb is the obvious question. How is the fight gonna end? Will the fight spill into the streets and finally people will see the crawler in action? From that one scene of him blazing up a building and leaping off, we know now that when Koichi wants to go all out, he's become pretty adept with slide and glide. And what I've been thinking about the most is how will Koichi save Pop Step? I mean, if you have an idea, please put it in the comments down below. Don't write some cheesy power of love bullshit because I do not want that. That's played out. Because I actually want 6 to beat Knuckle Duster and give Koichi a chance against him. Number 6 has gone after his girl, he's gone after him, he's gone after his master, and it's finally time for the crawler to say to the world and to a villain that he is here. Imagine he does save Pop Step, and she wakes up as Koichi is getting a beatdown. And then they tag team number 6. We'll find more out March 13th when the chapter drops. But you know what bar to head to when it does. I'll try to have the video out within 24 hours after the chapter drops, because I'm definitely gonna want to get something colored. Other than that, if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to give your favorite bartender a like. And this is Dan, signing off saying, I don't care if you put Heroes Rising spoilers in the comments. Bakugo forgetting the entire events of the movie was straight out of Pokemon the first movie. And it is bullshit. Peace.